I'm heading to the Henschel Indian Museum near Elkhart Lake to interview curator Gary Henschel. There are over 10,000 years of Indian occupation on this site. At the Henschel Indian Museum, this is a wonderful place. This is Gary, and he's giving me a tour. And just looking at some of the points and some of the artifacts and burial sites and stuff that are on this this land here, and it's just something to see. Unbelievable.
This is still what's in our woods. So it's a group of effigy mounds. Probably be about 800 to 1,200 years old. So there's a group. There's probably about 7 that are real easy to see. Some of them we don't know if they're a mound or not, but there's seven to 9 that are very distinct. We have a lizard mound, some deer mounds, a bear mound, and panthers and conifers.
Unbelievable.
And this wagon goes through, and we give the tour of that. So if you came on that day, you would be able to take the wagon ride and see on the 12th of June.
Which is a Sunday, which
yeah.
is good for me. Awesome. Just kind of pan around here, take a look at some of the artifacts here, and pottery and pot shards.
The cabinet that you're looking at right there, that little one, that's all from the big site.
This one here?
And that's just a fraction of what we call it.
That's right here, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, a lot of nice pot shards there, bone fragments. Wow. This is real neat. I spent an entire day just looking at some of these.
These are some of our hat rattles, different kinds, from different countries even.
These are to assist in throwing the spear farther, huh?
Right.
Boy, that's something.
We also have the troll farm too.
Yeah, those natural springs there?
Yeah, and then we have, you pay by the pound. So you don't need a license and you don't need a trout stamp. We provide that. And our price includes the bait, the poles, and we clean them.
Get my grandkids down here and do a little, they enjoy that. I'm looking at your books there. I have a lot of the ones you have. Share some similar interests. I'd just like to spend a half a day picking your brain about some of this stuff.
I've been given a lot of books. Schools now are throwing a lot of books out, or instead of reselling them.
Yeah.
Sometimes they give us some, especially about Indians. Okay.
This is the actual mound area here, and this is kind of recreated. I'm going to go in here. This is just recreated, but this is how it was found. And Gary, the gentleman who was in an earlier video, who's the owner and proprietor of this, his great-grandfather horse actually was plowing up here and fell down almost up to his stomach, and they started digging down, and as they dug down through this mound, they found several skeletons like laying on top of each other, and just kind of recreation of kind of how it was. And then below that they found pretty much what's happening here, all these sitting skeletons. And this is the mound in here, and this is the way it was. It's obviously been preserved, but the archaeologists had gone through this much earlier, and they still have archaeological digs out here, and they still find a lot of stuff on this property. This was a village area on the edge of this marsh, this glacial lake that was continuously used for thousands of years. You had the Paleo Indians here, you had the archaic, the early woodland, late woodland, everything was on this site. And this is a reproduction of the conch shell that was actually found. And this comes from the ocean. And a lot of the beads and a lot of the stuff they wore and a lot of the stuff they found here actually came from like the Gulf of Mexico, areas on the Atlantic Ocean. So it shows how far that these people traveled. And even the later Indians, the ones that were still here at the beginning of the settlement, they moved around so much in different parts of the state and out of the state. I mean, they moved by canoe, they walked by trails. It's unbelievable how far and wide that they did travel. But this is a reproduction, and it's actually on the exact site. So it's kind of just been preserved for museum use here, and this is just something. So as you come outside, you can see this is where the original farmhouse and everything stood.